There's 40 minutes of racing, 40 minutes of pain and suffering. I mean fun. It's fun. It's fun racing here at Tulsa Tough. 40 minutes to go around the L-shaped gauntlet. That is the FC Tulsa Arts District Criterium here on the 2024 edition of St. Francis Tulsa Tough. Our 18th year in existence, getting started back in 2006. A reminder coming up, we will have our juniors racing, and they are part of the ACC American Criterium Cup Series this year. First year that they're going to be part of the series for juniors, recognizing rising talents of 15 and 16 and 17 and 18-year-old male and female junior athletes, and the juniors, ACC juniors, presented by Renaissance Financial. So we'll have a podium for age groups, but also you look at some of the ACC podium after that. Top three for the 15 to 16 boys and girls, and 17 to 18 boys and girls as well. So we'll be recognizing our women's 4-5 podium coming up in a little bit. Make sure we get that final results in there and get those top three recognized. Here we are, opening lap though of the women's 2-3.
Oh, I get a radio.
Yeah, so anytime you crash, crash corner one, and whether you need medical or not, you're just kind of crash corner one rider now, looks okay.
Looking at our start list here for our women's 2-3, women's masters. Trying to see if we have any of our previous winners in here. I think they may have moved up in our racing now in the women's Cat 1. Actually, no, that's not true. Camila Arenas, Los Angeles Bicycle Academy. She was the winner last year, and she's in our start list here today. Ariel Wyant, who finished second last year here in the women's 2-3. She was racing in the women's P1 last night. I think she'll be racing the P1 here this afternoon, this evening as well. Looking last year, Karen Stern, she was third place in the 2023 Saturday edition. Oh no, I do see her. So we have two of our three podium finishers last year are back here again in 2024. Last year's winner, Camila Arenas, and third place is Karen Stern. They are part of this podium. Sorry, podium. They're trying to become part of the podium again, and they're part of this 43-strong racer field here in our women's 2-3 and Masters 40 Plus.
All about the TV nowadays.
So, talk about preems. We got more preems here for our women. It'll be 4 different $100 cash preems. So in this 40-minute race, we'll be throwing it out there. We'll have 4 different times to set the machine in motion, to make some attacks, to see who wants to stretch those legs out, burn some matches for a couple $100. So we'll have 4 preem laps coming up in our women's 2-3 field. A reminder, if you're on the podium, and don't go anywhere, stay close. Head on over to the podium. We're gonna recognize our podiums immediately after your race and during the beginning of the following race. So again, all day long, we're going to be trying to take care of our podiums right off the bat. Again, we can't do any of this without the great volunteers and also the great sponsors. So St. Francis Tulsa Tough has been here since 2006. Chairman of the board at the Tulsa Tough Executive Group, Chris Sintoffer, has been part of this since way back in the day. Malcolm, our executive director, Tim Carrig. So many names, so many faces have been part of this since 2006. But St. Francis Tulsa Tough is not made possible without the St. Francis Health System. So again, thank you to them. And then today's sponsor, the FC Tulsa. As we are another lap done and dusted here for our women's 2-3. Again, Don Thornton Automotive Group, our pace car sponsor. We appreciate their help year after year. All righty, we are going to recognize our women's 4-5 podium here on day number 2, the 2024 edition of the St. Francis Tulsa Tough. It's the FC Tulsa Arts District Criterium. Making her way to the third step, racing from Northwest Arkansas in the BMC Walmart cycling team. In third place, Catherine Evinger. The local hero, winner of the first $200 Preem, racing with Tulsa wheelman Joy Grogan. And your winner, who ran away and hid after winning that $100 cash Preem courtesy of Bicycles of Tulsa, coming out of the St. Louis area, racing with Maplewood Bicycle Race Team, it's Olivia Wichter. Your podium in the women's 4-5, Wichter, Grogan, Evinger, 1, 2, and 3. Congratulations to our women's 4-5 podium. And next time around, as we see the Don Thornton Automotive pace car, here it comes. Looks like that is going to be the Volkswagen. When the Volkswagen rolls on through, we're going to ring our first Preem lap of this race for our women's 2-3 Masters. It will be a $100 cash Preem courtesy of Bicycles of Tulsa. This is a Preem lap, Preem lap, Preem lap. $100, $100, $100 Preem lap. $100 Preem lap, $100 Preem lap. $100 Preem lap. Large contingent of racers in there with the Los Angeles Bicycle Academy. I saw Gabby along in there, as that is a large group at Team Dynamic. As you're going to start seeing that more Team Dynamics happening here as you get towards the category 2 and 3 and less in the men and women's cap 4 and 5. Los Angeles Bicycle Academy, I think, had about 5 racers in this field out of 43, so definitely see some of that team dynamics being employed here. But right now, this is a $100 cash Preem. This lap is a $100 cash Preem lap. The first of 4 $100 Preems. This one is Bicycles of Tulsa. As look into the Jumbotron, and maybe Valkyr Cycling's Chantel Ingeren, possibly towards the front, and that purple kid out of California, sorry, out of Washington. And actually, that is not who it is. 557, it is Valkyr Cycling, but it's Caitlin McAllister out of Washington with Valkyr Cycling. Looking to drive towards the front. Also up towards the front, India Harvey, Los Angeles Bicycle Academy. But it looks like that is our Caitlin McAllister with Valkyr sitting towards the front. And some of those speckled blue jerseys of Los Angeles Bicycle Academy. The speckled yellow, we'll try to see exactly who that is. Don't think it's also Los Angeles Bicycle Academy. We'll get it figured out as they get closer here. But here comes a move. Actually, it looks like it is maybe some of our Los Angeles Bicycle Academy racers up towards the front. But this is a $100 Preem. $100 Preem will look to the west as they're on the gallop up out of the saddle, trying to take a $100 cash Preem. The sprint starting to fade a little bit there as it will be overtaken there. The sprint won by 178. That's Priscilla Garcia with Los Angeles Bicycle Academy. Garcia coming over the top to take the $100. Did not catch the second place rider. Had a little bit longer sprint. Opened it up a little early and just not able to hold off Priscilla Garcia, who takes the first of our 4 $100 cash Preems. And actually, that's Lynn Wilson with the Lance Project racing out of Missouri. Lynn Wilson unable to hold on for that Preem, finishing second. So the $100 goes to Priscilla Garcia, Los Angeles Bike Academy. Los Angeles Bicycle Academy. Make sure we get it fully recognized there. So 9 minutes in, we've done a little bit of a threshold test there. Had the full sprint going on. Handed out first $100 of 4 $100 Preems. And you can tell there's kind of a little cessation of hostilities going on there. As we kind of came wide, it was almost like 8 wide. Now it's starting to come back together here. And a new name and face at the front, that'll be 561. That's the aforementioned Karen Stern, I believe. 561, racing out of Washington with Coalition Cycling. She was your 3rd place finisher last year in this race at the 2023 edition. So Karen Stern, first time we've called her name, she pokes her nose into the wind, and it's a good time to do it, as it's the downhill heading down towards the Tulsa Theater. So looking behind Stern, you'll see some of the LA Bicycle Academy racers. See some United Racing. I believe that was a United Purple in there out of Texas. You'll see some Centier Racing bibs in there as well. Nicole Wyant, Corinna Redard, both of those ladies, local racers racing with Centier. Speaking of Centier, head on down to the Mexicali parking lot off to the west of us here as Centier, they're grilling hot dogs and hamburgers, and they're taking donations for a good cause. I believe it's the Special Olympics of Oklahoma is what the donations go to. As we have another lap done and dusted there, as that'll be Claire Avery with Mark Spinsdorf, BPC Cycling Team out of Tennessee. First time we've called bib number 176, Claire Avery. So here we are, about 11 and a half minutes into our 40-minute race. Not coming up yet, but coming up soon. In the next lap or so, we are going to be rolling out our second $100 cash premium. This one courtesy of Smith Farm and Garden. Coming up shortly. So, looking at our race leaders on the Jumbotron, courtesy of Quick Trip, your live stream official sponsor of St. Francis Tulsa Tough. With that peloton, a little about mid-40s, 43 plus some masters, so about 45 to 46 racers. That's who towed the line to start this about 12 minutes ago. So we'll keep an eye. They're getting ready to make their way down the hill. Alrighty, and we talked about cessation of hostilities. That's exactly what's going on. Kind of a slowdown here in the peloton as they make their way on to the finishing chute here. So we're gonna have them roll under the finish line truss. They will not have laps just yet, as we're still almost about a third of the way through this race. But here we go, someone's making a move there. It was way too slow, calm, for bib number 149, Tracy Carson with Suprabars.com. Tracy Carson said, enough of this lollygagging about, I'm gonna strike out. And it may be a good move here because guess what? Next time they roll through, we're gonna ring the bell and have our second $100 cash premium coming on up. So our second of 4 cash premiums coming on up for our race leaders. As we look at the backside of the course, Tracy Carson, Suprabars.com out of North Carolina, making her way to the hill, heading up towards Sound Pony Hill. The iconic Canes Ballroom, which also on that stretch of road on Main Street, you're gonna have the Big Ride 2024. Still have tickets available for the Big Ride. It's gonna be Groucho, Girl Talk, DJ K-Rock 3.0. We have found another celebrity bell ringer here in the crowd. You never know when a celebrity like Paige just shows up at Tulsa Tough. She was just coming down to have tacos down at Chimera and have a cup of coffee. She stumbled upon a bike race, and now she is our celebrity bell ringer here on our $100 cash premium, courtesy of Smith Farm and Garden. So we're gonna ring it. Still a little bit of a gap there between our race leader, Tracy Carson, back to the peloton. But let's change that up. Let's fire off our second of 4 premiums coming up momentarily. So Carson will make that left-hand turn next to the Tulsa Theater. She will make her way onto our runway here, but we're gonna ring this. It'll be a preem lap, preem lap, preem lap, a preem lap, preem lap, preem lap. This is a $100, we're gonna ring it. This is the start of a Smith Farm and Garden preem lap. A $100 preem lap, here we go. It's a preem lap, preem lap, preem lap, preem lap. Preem, 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 $100, $100, $100, courtesy of Smith Farm and Garden. Thank you to Paige, our celebrity bell ringer, bringing $200, our second $100, now $200. to our racers in our women's 2-3 field. This is a $100 preem lap, courtesy of Smith Farm and Gardens. And again, we continue to see our Fondo participants, courtesy of Aon, our official sponsor of the Fondos, finish on up. Our Fondo participants rolling on in, coming under 244, heading down here towards our kind of central command area, the start-finish line, our finish line truss, and the white registration tent. Some movement there by the chasers. Again, I need to try to figure out who the yellow speckled jersey there, EAD maybe. I want to get that figured out. That's the LA Sweat team, there it is. The EA being the middle of SWEAT. There you go, I need to, they have caught her here. They have caught Tracy Carson here. This is a preem lap, so maybe Tracy decided I'm gonna kind of hang out here, but problem is she's a one-woman show here. LA Sweat, Gabriella Arnold and others up there towards the front trying to maybe set something up to take a team win, to win this $100 to split amongst the team here. I believe we have about 4 racers from LA Sweat, at least 3 racers here in this field. But here comes a move from LA Cycling, Los Angeles Bicycle Academy, that is. As has been an attack there on the downhill, possibly. We'll have to see who it is, but it is LABA. He wants this $100 cash premium for the Los Angeles Bicycle Academy up out of the saddle, and they will not catch her. Your second $100 premium has taken, I believe that is Camila Arenas, last year's champion in the women's 2-3. Camila Arenas out of California, the LABA racer, wins the second $100 cash premium. So she has done the damage to win the $100. We'll have 2 more preems we hand out over the next 10 or 15 minutes or so, as we are 17 minutes into our 40-minute race. Arenas still off the front, has about a half a city block there ahead of the peloton. Reminder, head on down to Mexicali, parking lot of Mexicali, the Centier race team. They are grilling up hamburgers and hot dogs, taking donations for Special Olympics of Oklahoma for a good cause there. A reminder, in our junior race coming up in a little bit, it is the first year for juniors being part of the American Criterium Cup, as we recognize rising talents in the 15 to 16 and 17 to 18 category, or age groups that is, and the ACC Junior Cup, brought to you by Renaissance Financial. So 18 minutes into our 40-minute race. So again, if you're just joining us, you're going, hey, wait a minute. When do you ring the bell? Why is it 1 to go? Why is it? Where's the laps? There's no laps. It's because we're counting the clock up to get our average lap time to figure out how many laps we have left. So if you're down here, if you're doing 2 things. So if you're on the live stream, courtesy of Quick Trip, and you see the clock running up, we're doing the clock running up before we count the laps down. Same thing, if you're down here at the finish line, we have the clock running up, and then we'll figure out, and on cue, our USA Racing officials are tired of hearing me talk about it. They're gonna take the anticipation out of it. It's 10 laps to go. Here comes the Don Thornton Automotive Group pace car. The Volkswagen again rolls on through as we are all back together, but some movement towards the front. New name and face. That is bib number 175. That is Elisa Luo, L-U-O, Eliza Luau, a Faster Me race team out of California. First time we've called Eliza's name here, but we'll see if we call it again when it comes to cash money, because I think it's about time to hand out our third preem, our third $100 preem. It's courtesy of the St. Francis Tulsa Tough Volunteers. They handed the hat around, they threw in some coins, and it was enough coin to get to $100 in cash. So our third preem of the day here in our Women's 2-3 and Masters race will be $100 in cash, courtesy of St. Francis Tulsa Tough Volunteers. We'll be cleaning up the backside of the course here. We've pulling some of the backside of our peloton here as we are looking to the Jumbotron, and we will see our race leaders making their way down the hill. And we're going to ring a bell for them as it's going to be 9 to go, but more importantly, it's going to be $100 cash premium, the third one of the day. For this women's 2-3 Masters race, a $100 cash premium courtesy of St. Francis Tulsa Tough Volunteers. Again, a reminder, there are still tickets available for the 2024 Big Ride over on Main Street. If you're heading up towards Sound Pony, Cain's Ballroom, and the OK Pop Museum. If you're on the west side of Main Street, over next to Inner Circle Vodka Bar, that's where the stage is going to be set. Last year, it was Ghostland Observatory. Kick myself for missing that one. You don't want to miss the party this year. Selling tickets. There's also VIP packages as well. Go to www.flywheel.com for Big Ride 2024. Tickets still available, as it's going to be Groucho, Girl Talk, DJ Casey, RO 3.0. There it is, DJ K-Rock 3.0. But here, more importantly, is our preem lap. $100, $100, $100. Preem lap, preem lap, preem lap, preem lap, preem lap. A third preem lap. This is the preem lap. Valkyr has made their way to the front. We are, thought it was Valkyr. Yeah, it's Valkyr. At 551. That may not be 551. Or it could just be that she has a different name on her registration. But if that is 551, that'll be Alexa Alarcon. First time we've called Alexa's name. Moving towards the front. Actually, we'll get correct. That is 557. That's the aforementioned Caitlin McAllister, who we have called her name before. Caitlin with Valkyr Cycling out of Washington, moving towards the front. So this is a preem lap, courtesy of St. Francis Tulsa Tough. They're all together, about 3 or 4 wide. We see Sin Tears, Nicole Wyant, hanging out about mid-pack in the purple with the pink helmet there, one of our local racers. Valkyr McAllister will make that right-hand turn as they head up towards Sound Pony Hill. Our Fondo finishers continue to roll on and roll on in. We see the Crofts. The Crofts have finished. Ben's so proud of he's flexing. He's trying to show some guns over there. Ben Croft finishing up the Fondo, courtesy of Aon, our official Fondo sponsor. But looking back to the Jumbotron, we shall see our race leaders about to make their way down the hill towards the Tulsa Theater. And when they roll through, we will show 8 laps to go. But more importantly, we will show $100 tucked in the back of one of our racing women's jerseys here. One of our racers will win the third $100 cash premium. Come on up. Kind of surprising that nobody has made an attack. A little bit of a wind-up, and there it is. It looks like that'll be LABA maybe trying to wind it up from the outside. No, it won't. It will still be Caitlin McAllister with Valkyr, and she'll cut that left-hand corner there. But if you look off to the west, this is going to be a $100 gallop, $100 gallop, $100 gallop. Stop flexing, Ben. You're already married to her. You don't have to try to impress her. Here comes the sprint, sprint, sprint. $100 cash premium. Who's going to take it? Up out of the saddle, rolling the line. That will be 3:04. Taking the win, Lynn Wilson, the Lance Project race team out of Missouri. She was second on the first preem of the day, first on the third preem, as she'll take that $100 cash and tuck it back in her pocket. Racing out of Missouri, Lynn Wilson, officially in our Masters category, but at the front of our women's 2-3 to take that third preem. But just you wait. Don't go anywhere. We've got our fourth $100 preem coming up. We still have under 8 laps to go, so we don't want to do it too late. But now the anticipation will start to grow. When do you fire off the fourth $100 cash premium? That one courtesy of Chris King, a $100 Chris King cash premium coming up. The final one coming up shortly, Chris King Counseling Group. And it's kind of apropos that our final $100, Chris King, one of our preem sponsors. June is Men's Mental Health Awareness Month. So thank you to Chris King Counseling Group, one of our cash sponsors when it comes to our preem laps, the race within the race. So under 8 to go, and we've moved to the front now. The aforementioned LA Sweat Racing team, Gabriella Arnold, we called her name earlier. So Lynn Wilson took that preem, rolled back into the peloton. And now Gabriella Arnold with LA Sweat moving her way to the front. Still 7 laps, or just over 7 laps. We'll show them 7 laps to go coming up. Reminder, we can't do this without the great sponsorship, St. Francis Tulsa Tough. Today it's FC Tulsa. Last night it was the McNally's Group. Tomorrow it will be McElroy Manufacturing, our lead sponsors for our 3 days of racing. But the list goes on and on. Presenting sponsors, Century sponsors, Peloton partner, and the Diva sponsors, all helping to provide you, bring you the 2024 Tulsa Tough. 7 to go, 7 to go, 7 to go. Again, Gabriella Arnold with LA Sweat up towards the front. A little bit of a gap. Not much, as again, it looks like right behind her is going to possibly be Karen Stern. Bib number 561, Karen finishing 3rd last year here in the women's 2-3 race in the 2023 edition. So we're getting down. We're in that little zone. Wins the final $100 cash premium coming out. But we can't wait too late because you want to get the preems out of the way and then get down to just the racing. So it's probably coming up in about a lap or 2, as we don't want to get too close to the finish line. Probably around 5 to go. We shall see. But right now, looking on the Jumbotron, Karen Stern, Coalition Cycling out of Washington. She was last year's 3rd place finisher, sitting in first wheel right now. She gets ready to make her way down the hill, and when they roll through, we'll be showing 6 laps to go in our women's 2-3. This is a 40-minute race. They've raced about 27 minutes. Getting down to the final 6 minutes. They're averaging a little over 2 minutes per lap. So you got to think we're probably about 13 and a half minutes or so from the finish of this one in our women's 2-3 here on day number 2 of the 2024 edition of Tulsa Tough. So we talked about kind of the theme here of June. It's Men Mental Health Month. Our last preem is courtesy of the Chris King Counseling Group. We talked about Lynn Wilson, who'd won that preem. She's racing with the Lance Project, which is a suicide support program and suicide prevention program. So again, a lot of mental health talk that we have here in June. Yes, it's Men's Mental Health Month, but once again, men and women counseling groups is always a good thing to pay attention to and talk about, as we have 6 laps to go, 6 laps to go. So here's the thing, 6 to go. Next time they come around, 5 to go. And that is when we're gonna drop it. The 4th $100 preem, courtesy of Chris King Counseling Group. We threw out $100 by Bicycle Tulsa. We threw out $100 by Smith Farm and Garden. We threw out $100 by the St. Francis Tulsa Tough Volunteers. And now we're tossing on out the Chris King Counseling Group 4th and final $100 cash premium for our women's 2-3 race. And we're doing it late in the game. It will be with 5 to go, and we'll ring that bell for $100 cold hard cash. And our women's 2-3 Masters. And here's the thing, Travis, don't throw the Masters on late. Lynn Wilson, who's racing in the Masters field, she won the 3rd preem, racing with the Lance Project. So they will roll on through here. We'll look to the Jumbotron. Sound Pony Hill, they're coming your way. 29 minutes in. And it will be 5 laps to go. We shall keep our eyes peeled off to the west. The Jumbotron will show them heading back behind the OK Pop Museum. And it will be LA Sweat moving back to the front. You got to think that's probably Gabrielle Arnold. And maybe, couldn't see the number, possibly Regina Doty. But LA Sweat moving to the front. Opportune time here, as it's going to be the 4th and final preem lap of the race. Here at our women's 2-3, coming up next will be our men's Cat 4 at 12:45, but don't worry about those guys. We'll let them sit down in the sun in the staging area for a little bit. Right now, what we need to pay attention to is the preem lap that we're about to ring the bell, the 4th and final $100 cash preem, courtesy of the Chris King Counseling Group. This will be a preem lap, preem lap, preem lap. $100 cash, $100 cash, $100 in cash. Preem lap, preem lap, preem lap. All back together. Preem lap, preem lap, preem lap. $100 in cash, $100 in cash, $100 in cash. Karen Stern at the front, Coalition Cycling, with two of the LA Sweat racers sitting right behind her. As we are on a preem lap, this is the 5th lap. Next time they roll through, we'll show 4 to go, and we'll be handing $100. Well, not during the race. That'd be a little dangerous. Don't want to have a soigné on the side of the road trying to hand a $100 bill out, or one of those big oversized checks. That'd be unnecessary. But whoever wins this preem will win that the 4th and final $100 cash preem, and then we will be to this business end. We'll be towards the end of this 40-minute race for our women's 2, 3, and masters. We will show them 4 laps to go. A reminder, as we watch the peloton make their way up towards Sound Pony Hill, the 2024 Big Ride party is coming up tonight at the end of the men's pro race. It'll be over, if you go to www.flywheel.com, you can still get tickets to the Big Ride on cue on the Jumbotron. Tickets still on sale now, Saturday night after the races. Girl Talk, Groucho, DJ K-Rock 3.0. That will be your performers tonight at the Big Ride over on Main Street, across from, on the west side, opposite of Kane's Ballroom, just south of the OK Pop Museum. So this is a $100 cash preem lap, the 4th and final one. But if you look, surprised nobody's made an attack out of the peloton. They are all still together. In fact, they're 5, 6 wide, coming down the hill towards the Tulsa Theater. Will there be a late attack, or will it be a all-out mass sprint? Nicole Wyant, Centier, she's moving her way towards the front. But this will be a $100 sprint, $100 sprint, $100 sprint. Possibly Karen Stearns. Nope, this is maybe going to be Lynn Wilson again. Up out of the saddle, coming to the line. Will they catch her? They will not come around, as it will be the 2nd cash preem win for Lynn Wilson with the Lance Project, racing in the Masters field, but taking 2 of our 4 cash preems. Lynn Wilson out of Missouri, the Lance Project. Again, you go to thelanceproject.com. Has to do with suicide prevention, a great cause. Once again, we're keying on some of the importance of June, even though it is Men's Mental Health Month. Men and women, support groups, the counseling of Chris King, who is also one of our preem sponsors, very important here in the month of June. Who am I kidding? Month of June. 12 months a year, mental health, definitely something more important, something that people not always willing to talk about. But here we are talking about it more and more, and some of those support services. So looking on back, Lynn Wilson has been gathered back into the fold, it appears. LA Bicycle Academy, though, up towards the front, as is Valkyr. That may be Caitlin McAllister putting a little bit of a push, heading up the hill towards Sound Pony. So next time they roll through, we will see 3 laps to go. So under 4 laps to go, they will navigate the shadow of 244. Have not seen anybody make their way into the hay bales there when they make that left-hand turn off of Main onto Cameron so far this year on day number 2 of the St. Francis Tulsa Tough. But we'll look as they make the white knuckle downhill. Still, I'll tell you what, Peloton looking around, LA Bicycle Academy, LA Sweat, they're the 2 teams that have numbers. They're kind of glancing over their shoulders, looking at each other. Peloton got about 5 wide, now starting to narrow down as it gets a little bit more narrow as they make that left-hand turn onto our runway finish here, but they've let Caitlin McAllister, racing with Valkyr Cycling out of Washington, come to the front with 3 to go. Dangerous move here. Are they going to gather up to try to bring back McAllister with 3 to go, 3 to go, 3 to go, 3 to go? 40 minutes of racing coming down to the final 3, so probably just a little bit over 6 minutes of racing left. Looking in that chase group, trying to see if LA Sweat and Los Angeles Bicycle Academy are trying to gather the forces and try to work on pulling back our racer out of Washington, Caitlin McAllister with Valkyr. Looks like Caitlin does have a teammate in the peloton, Chantel Ingerin. think she may still be here. If she's in that peloton, she's definitely going to do some blocking and tackling, not officially tackling. Come on, people, that's illegal. Our celebrity bell ringer, Loretta. She'll be bringing us to the line in a couple laps with 1 to go. Loretta, I tell you what, Jeff he's got America, he's got talent. He's finding all of the celebrities in the crowd to ring the bell. All righty, Loretta, stretch out the arms. You'll be putting down some big watts, tossing that bell around to ring it with 1 to go as we are under 3 to go. Next time our race leaders roll through, we'll tell them it's 2 to go. It'll be the penultimate lap coming on up. And I tell you what, trying to run away and hide with this is Caitlin McAllister with Valkyr. There's quite the gap up the hill, off to the north towards 244 between McAllister and the chasing peloton. She's about to navigate her way past the Tulsa Theater, make that left-hand turn. When she comes to us from the west, we're gonna tell 2 to go, 2 to go, 2 to go, and we'll get Loretta warmed up. She's getting the bell ringing arm ready. Don't throw out a shoulder. No pressure for our celebrity bell ringer coming out of the crowd. She was just coming down to see Guthrie Green. She didn't know there was a bike race going on. And now she gets a chance to ring the bell. So Caitlin rolls through with 2 to go, 2 to go, 2 to go. She's about to make that left-hand turn. It's a peloton. They're starting to make the move. LA Sweat coming towards the front with 2 to go, 2 to go, 2 to go, 2 to go. McAllister gritting the teeth, mouth open, trying to get as much oxygen in. She'd gone on the attack a couple laps ago. Starting to feel the pain, the lactic acid burning, the buildup in the legs, the lungs on fire. We'll look at the telescopic photo lens. She's about to make that turn onto Main Street, but there is the long, thin line of the peloton. They're bringing them up here. Still with the lead as she makes that right-hand turn. But here's the thing. 2 more times up the hill. 2 more times up the hill. Does she have it in her as here comes the charging peloton. LA Sweat at the front. 3 of the racers, that team dynamic of LA Sweat going to the front. They've got to have probably a designated kind of sprinter who they've kind of trying to win this race for. You'll let the other 2 racers bury themselves to draw back our lone attacker here, Caitlin McAllister here with under 2 to go. So they'll hit the shadow of 244. They'll make the left-hand turn, but LA Sweat with their victim in their sights, looking to claw back Caitlin McAllister. Caitlin, so many looks over her left-hand shoulder, knowing that the catch is about to be made. As the racer's looking to avoid that yellow plastic bag in the downhill, last thing you want is to catch a bag in the spokes on the second to last lap. So, ladies and gentlemen, get off your duff. Get to the barriers. Cheer on these racers. They're working harder than you are. Let them know how much you appreciate all their effort. As they've caught McAllister here, she'll come back into the fold as it's a long line of racers with under 2 to go. And now it's going to be 1 to go, 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 1 to go. Bell lap, 1 to go, 1 to go, 1 to go, 1 to go, 1 to go. The peloton's cruel. They're making McAllister stay at the front. Now they'll finally overtake her. Here's the team dynamic we talked about. Out of the 46 original racers, not many of these, there's not many teams, but LA, the Los Angeles Bicycle Academy, LABA, and LA Sweat, the 2 Cali teams, 3 and 4 different racers between the 2 teams. The closest thing to a team dynamic, little mini sprint trains. They are at the front here on the final lap, trying to boss the front of this peloton and establish their designated leader to get to the front to launch them here on the final lap. I tell you what, still all together though, as they make that right-hand turn. They're gonna hit Main Street America in Tulsa, Oklahoma, heading up to Sound Pony Hill, heading up to the iconic Cain's Ballroom, pushing the watts, breathing through their eyeballs. LA Sweat still up towards the front, as is Los Angeles Bicycle Academy. Still all together. Nobody's taking the late flyer, and I tell you what, they've kind of shed some of their racers. Some of the domestiques, so to speak, have been kicked off the back. A name we haven't called yet, though, Jade Stevens. Major Motion Cycling Club out of California. So many Cali racers in this race in our women's 2-3. First time we've called her name. Jade Stevens, she's moved her way up into that top 5 as well. Now we'll look. They make the white knuckle descent, heading down towards the Old Lady Brady, the Tulsa Theater. One more left-hand turn. Ladies and gentlemen, head to the west with your eyes. You shall see this peloton make this turn momentarily. You will see the Don Thornton Automotive Group pace car come through. You'll see the lead moto, and then you will see our women's 2-3 peloton make that turn. Here's the gallop to the line. Up towards the front, we have some solo free agents in there trying to be provocateurs inside the team dynamic. They're 4 or 5 wide. A lot of meters left though, but here comes the strong push to the end, and it will be L.A. Sweat. Regina Doty, 5.53, taking the win in that sprint finish in our women's 2-3 here at the 2024 edition of the FC Tulsa Arts District Criterium St. Francis Tulsa Tough. So Regina Doty with LA Sweat taking the win in the sprint. And you got to think that's some good karma. LA Sweat came out to the St. Francis Tulsa Tough Divas event on Wednesday, hung out with them. You got to think, you get some of the local karma there as LA Sweat wins it at the notorious TUL Downtown FC Tulsa Arts District Criterium. We'll get the official podium for you momentarily, but right there, LA Sweat with the win. Regina Doty, racing with LA Sweat, out of the state of Ohio though. You got to know a Buckeye racing with all the Californians. We'll hand it off to the race officials as we're about to do our next race, men's Cat 4.